Hey everybody, my name is Aaron and I quit my job to start a startup. It's called Hihat and it's the best way for bands and fans to connect. I post new video blogs about my progress every Wednesday, so subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. It's out. So after many weeks and months, I've finally released Hihat into the App Store. So again, to remind everyone, it's iOS only. I figured if I was going to learn how to do mobile app development and I was going to build an app, I might as well only make all the stupid mistakes in one platform at a time. So Android version is in the future at some point. But yeah, the app is in the App Store. One of the reasons I didn't post a video update yesterday, even though yesterday was Wednesday and today is Thursday, is because I was dealing with all the stuff that happened after I launched it. And now, in a lot of ways, not much happened, but what did happen is that Apple approved the app much earlier than I expected. It took them basically a day between the time I submitted it and the time they reviewed and approved it, put it into the App Store. And I could have delayed its release, but I decided to just let it go out there. And as a result, I did a bunch of testing. I didn't have the data that I wanted yet, and so I was sort of scrambling to get all the band data and the show data and stuff into the app. And it's still not complete from my perspective. There's a limited set of bands, which is intentional, but those bands don't have all of their upcoming shows listed, which is not intentional. So that's something I'm working on remedying right now. I actually got a huge batch of shows into the app a few hours ago. And but the other thing is that there have been a bunch of bugs that popped up. And the reason that they were found right after it launched, but not before that, is because I was supporting a whole bunch of bands and the bugs came about in certain data that came from certain bands' Facebook and Twitter feeds. And since I didn't check every single band's feed before I released the thing, I sort of I spot checked and I was like, okay, well, a bunch of bands have functional Facebook and Twitter feeds, therefore it must be working, but there were a few edge cases that didn't quite work yet. So I was sort of scrambling to get the data in, and I was scrambling to cover up these edge cases on the server and through data, because really there were client crashes. To get into some technical details, there were some null values and blank values that were coming in where I didn't expect in some cases, and the client was like, null, whatever, crash. And so I modified the data coming in from the server to cover that up. There was also the tweets that you can get from Twitter through their API. The maximum number of characters that you can get from a tweet is it's way more than 140 characters. And I know that they make allowances for links and for replies and at mentions and stuff like that, but the maximum length of a tweet from the data side, I don't know if they actually document it. So I set apparently a slightly too low arbitrary value of what the maximum tweet size could be, and when saving that to the database, it explodes if it's too big. So I had to fix that as well. Between all these different things, I'm working on automating getting data into the app, and that's sort of a slow step-by-step process. I'm finding and fixing bugs. I've already found a few client bugs that are in the realm of embarrassing, and so I'm tempted to package up another client bundle and release it immediately, even though that's kind of silly. So anyway, this is what happens though when you release an app, is that all this stuff happens at once, and the feeling that you have goes from this anticipation of gee, I wonder what's going to happen, to this feeling of oh, it's out there and stuff is happening. And even though there's really only a few people using it, it's still a different feeling altogether, and it's one that I actually miss. It's the type of feeling that that I had when I was working for startups and stuff like that. And I just hope that I can get the data into it quickly and then start promoting it and getting real feedback from actual fans, getting people using it every day, and from there we'll see what can happen. Okay, so that's it for this week. It's really exciting. I post new video blogs every Wednesday. Please remember to like and comment and subscribe and all that good stuff. And hopefully next week we'll have some even more exciting news than we had this week. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks.